Welcome to my Perfectionism series. Today we're talking about the procrastination to imposter syndrome pipeline. Now let's step back and define imposter syndrome for a little bit because a lot of people like to just throw that word around. And sometimes it's not that you have imposter syndrome, it's that you're an actual imposter because you just haven't practiced long enough and you haven't developed the skills and the mastery for your craft in order for you to feel confident about it. Now, imposter syndrome actually stands for somebody who does have the experience and the know-how, the skill sets of that craft, but they feel like they're still not good enough after some time has passed by. And these are two separate things. You not having practice versus somebody who does have the practice but doesn't have the confidence is a little bit different. Now, when you have perfectionism that is in this procrastination to imposter syndrome pipeline, basically it looks like you just not trying and you having a really horrible relationship with being a beginner. And so you think that you're supposed to be good the first day you start. And so if you don't see yourself evolving like this, or you don't see yourself improving just like that, you feel uncomfortable. And your nervous system basically gives you this reaction that it's like, oh, maybe we're just not good at it. Maybe we're just not going to ever be good at it. Maybe people don't like it. Maybe people are never going to like it. And all these narratives start to feel really true. They start to feel real when procrastination really disillusions the fact that if you don't practice, then you can't be good. So of course you're going to feel like you're an imposter because you literally haven't practiced once, maybe you practiced 2 times, but just long enough and consistently enough for you to develop a mastery in whatever it is. So it's like feeling, okay, 3 years have passed by. And so I'm supposed to be somewhere in 3 years, or I'm supposed to be at this skill level or at this thing. Something's supposed to happen in 3 years. But yes, you're right. 3 years have passed by, but have you practiced in those 3 years? Have you done enough consistency in those 3 years to for the outcome to be what it is that you think it should be in 3 years, right? Like whatever it is that you believe you're supposed to do or be in 3 years. So it is true that time has passed by, but this procrastination really makes you feel disillusioned around the actual effort that's gone into the thing versus the way that you are experiencing this perfectionism. Now, this type of perfectionism makes you incredibly indecisive. It makes you fear of commitment. You are not able to commit to a thing because it's easier to jump from thing to thing, right? Like it's like, I'll do 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there and 2 minutes there and 2 minutes there. And then I'm going to complain that I don't have an expertise or I'm not good at anything or I don't have anything that I'm like, getting better at is because when you have a fear of commitment, you don't stay with one thing long enough for you to develop that skill set and develop confidence along with it. Because building your skill set and building your confidence goes hand in hand, right? Because maybe you come into something with a lot of enthusiasm, but you're not really quote unquote good at it. And that's okay because like, all right, if you're not, if you're gifted and talented and you've always believed that you're gifted and talented and you're supposed to be good the first day, it's like, all right, that's why we're talking about this, because this type of perfectionism asks you to step back and say, what is your relationship with being a beginner? What is your relationship with being bad at something? What is your relationship with being a student? What is your relationship with being uncomfortable with the fact that sometimes it takes 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 times before you start to build that muscle of resiliency? That skill set takes time to build. And what is your relationship with that? This type of perfectionism, this procrastination to imposter syndrome pipeline also makes you have a really horrible relationship with the voice in your head. And it's all about self-doubt, right? There's certain types of perfectionism that's driven by ego. This is not you here. This type is very much about this inner dialogue that is all about doubting yourself. So you fear failing, you fear also success, you fear being rejected, you fear being abandoned, you fear a lot of what it is that you do and don't do, primarily what you don't do, is driven by the fact that you're scared, right? And your nervous system has a visceral reaction to all these types of fears. So when you're scared of being a beginner, scared of messing up, scared of not being good, scared of filling the blank, being judged, being, hearing a comment, being perceived is one of them. Your physical body actually responds to it. Your body clenches, and you see my hand, I'm like clenching it this way. Your physical body starts to clench. This is your nervous system reacting to new things. It's saying that I'm actually really afraid to go out of my comfort zone, because if I go out of my comfort zone, then what's going to happen? There's an unknown, and I don't know if success is is something that I'm going to be able to handle. My life is going to change, or I'm going to have to change this thing about me, or the way that I think, or the way that I behave, or the way that I share, or the way that I show up. And I low-key don't want to do that, and so you procrastinate and it feels heavy. There's this like lethargic feeling in the body. It's very heavy, dense kind of energy. It often sits in the chest. It often sits in the stomach, in your solar plexus, and also your sacral and root chakras, your root energy gates. And it feels like this like muddy kind of situation. So anytime you decide to take an action, it's hard to take an action. Anytime you decide to make a change or make a decision, it feels like this like heavy, lingering, pulling you kind of energy, because that's procrastination energy. So if you are looking to heal through this type of perfectionism, I'm inviting you to Imperfect. It is a 6-week self-exploration container where we're looking at different types and styles of perfectionism and the pathway to healing them, because this pipeline of perfectionism looks very different than other pipelines of perfectionism. You have a different type of pathway for your healing to explore. If you are interested to heal perfectionism and explore some of the things that has been holding you back from the gifts that you have and the gifts that you want to share, and you know that you don't want to be in this procrastination energy and be in this victim mentality for the rest of your life, definitely head to www.alwaysplay.org/imperfect, IMPERFECT, and I will see you in there.